When news emerged that Ayatollah Ali Khamenei had been killed in a joint American-Israeli strike, the reaction was immediate.
Supreme leader is indeed dead.
From Washington to Tehran, from intelligence agencies to global markets, the world recognized the scale of the moment. Because this was not simply the death of a leader, it was the end of a political era that had defined Iran for more than 4 decades. For supporters, he was the defender of Iranian sovereignty. For critics, the architect of confrontation. But for historians, Ali Khamenei will remain one of the most consequential figures of the modern Middle East. Ali Khamenei was born in 1939 in Mashhad, a city revered by Shia Muslims and long associated with religious scholarship. His father was a respected cleric. The family lived modestly, but education and faith were central to daily life. His mother encouraged a love of literature, poetry, and the written word. Khamenei would later describe books as companions of his youth. Religion formed his identity, but language shaped his voice. At the age of 4, he entered a religious school to study the Quran. Formal secular education played little role in his upbringing. Instead, he immersed in theology. His studies eventually took him to Najaf in Iraq, one of the most influential centers of Shia learning. From there, he returned to Iran's religious capital, Qom. It was in Qom that he encountered the figure who would alter his destiny. Ruhollah Khomeini was not merely a cleric, he was a revolutionary voice challenging Iran's monarchy. For the young Khamenei, this meeting was transformative. Faith, from that point forward, was inseparable from politics. Iran in the mid-20th century was ruled by the Pahlavi monarchy, a regime closely aligned with Western powers. The 1953 coup against Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, supported by foreign intelligence agencies, left a lasting impression on many Iranians. For Khamenei, it confirmed a belief that foreign influence shaped Iran's fate. He became an outspoken critic of the Shah. When mass protests swept Iran in 1978, Khamenei stood among those demanding change. By 1979, the monarchy had collapsed, the Islamic Republic had been born, and at its head stood Ayatollah Khomeini. In the new Islamic Republic, Khamenei rose swiftly. During the 1980s, he served as president, while Iran fought a long and devastating war with Iraq. The conflict scarred the country deeply. Hundreds of thousands died, the economy faltered, and many Western governments backed Iran's leader Saddam Hussein. Inside Iran, this reinforced a growing conviction that the West could not be trusted. Observers say this period shaped Khamenei's worldview more than any other. When Ayatollah Khomeini died in 1989, the Islamic Republic required a new supreme leader. Ali Khamenei was chosen. Few at the time expected he would hold the role for decades.
As supreme leader, Khamenei focused on one priority above all else: security. He believed Iran faced threats on multiple fronts, from foreign adversaries, internal dissent, and ideological infiltration. Under his guidance, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps expanded dramatically. The organization evolved beyond a military force. It became an economic power, a political actor, and a cornerstone of the state. Khamenei also promoted what he termed a resistance economy, a strategy designed to reduce dependence on Western trade and withstand sanctions. The principle was simple: Iran must endure pressure without surrendering independence. Stability did not always follow. In 2009, disputed elections triggered mass protests. In 2022, demonstrations over women's rights spread across cities. Economic hardship continued to fuel public anger. Many younger Iranians demanded reform, opportunity, and engagement with the world. Critics argued that Khamenei's leadership increasingly relied on control rather than consensus. Supporters, however, insisted that firmness was essential for survival. Khamenei's public stance towards the West was often uncompromising, but in practice, he was capable of calculated pragmatism. In 2015, Iran signed a landmark nuclear agreement with world powers. For a brief period, tensions eased. Yet when the United States withdrew from the deal in 2018, sanctions returned with renewed force.
From the Iran nuclear deal.
Khamenei's response was cautious but firm. Iran began stepping away from the agreement's limits while maintaining that its nuclear ambitions were peaceful. The standoff resumed, deeper than before.
Khamenei's foreign policy rested on what Iranian officials described as the axis of resistance. The concept was strategic. Iran's security should extend beyond its borders. Tehran cultivated alliances with regional actors, Hezbollah in Lebanon, armed groups in Iraq, the Syrian government, and Palestinian factions. The central figure managing this network was General Qasem Soleimani. When he was killed in a US strike in 2020, it represented one of the most serious strategic losses of Khamenei's tenure. The framework he built remained intact. The regional balance shifted sharply after the Hamas attacks of October 2023. Israel responded with extensive military operations in Gaza. Conflict spread beyond the territory. Iran's allies came under pressure across multiple fronts. In June 2025, Israeli forces struck Iranian nuclear facilities. With the awareness of Washington, Iran retaliated with missile attacks. For nearly 2 weeks, the region hovered on the brink of wider war. Eventually, the United States launched strikes of its own on Iranian nuclear infrastructure. Sanctions intensified, domestic unrest grew, diplomatic channels reopened, but events were already accelerating beyond negotiation. On February 28th, a joint American-Israeli operation targeted senior Iranian leadership. Among those killed was Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. With his death, one of the longest and most influential leadership periods in modern Iranian history came to a close. To some, he safeguarded Iran's independence against foreign domination. To others, he prolonged its isolation. Yet few dispute his impact. For more than 40 years, Ali Khamenei shaped Iran's ideology, strategy, and place in the world. His era has ended, but the Iran he leaves behind will continue to bear his imprint for generations.
To the claim repeated by West